Hi, my name is John. I'm with Mid-Atlantic Wildlife Control. What we're doing today is we're releasing a copperhead that was removed from a home in Anne Arundel County. We wanted to show you a little bit of characteristics about the snake, color pattern, the way it moves, and so forth. Okay, now what we have here, you'll note this is an adult copperhead. We get a lot of calls for copperheads, especially in the Delmarva area. This guy was taken from Anne Arundel County, and what we really wanted to be able to show you today was the color patterns of the snake. A lot of people call and report that they have copperheads in their home, and it actually turns out to be common water snakes or black rat snakes, which are very common. The copperhead is the most common pit viper in the United States, and they're very common in areas of Maryland, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. The reason why we wanted to show you this today is so that if you're in the backyard or at your home and you do see one of these, you know exactly what you're looking at. The copperhead only comes in one coloration. You're going to note the hourglass patterns on it, and you're going to notice the tan and brown markings. The juveniles, when they're first born, their tail is going to be a greenish yellow, and that tail is designed for a reason, so that when they're first born into the wild, it acts as they flip it back and forth like a worm, and that's how they attract prey, and that's how they catch their prey and are able to survive. The important thing to remember with these snakes is they are not an aggressive species of snake. They take, and wherever they're generally born, they predominantly stay in that area, and that's where they'll spend pretty much their whole life. They stay close to where they den, and they will sun themselves to regulate their body temperature during the daytime hours. Now, these guys are primarily active at nighttime. They are a nocturnal species. You will find them out during the daytime, but the evening hours are the primary time when they're out hunting and searching for prey. Their main source of food are going to be things such as birds, mice, frogs, chipmunks, things of that nature. This particular copperhead was taken from an area where there were several of them. We actually removed over a dozen copperheads from this yard, and they were actually feeding on and surviving on chipmunks. We know this because a lot of the feces from these guys, we were discovering a lot of chipmunk remains, and there were a lot of chipmunks in the area where these guys have been primarily feeding on. What I'd like you to notice is, really notice the coloration, notice how this particular snake is moving. You'll notice he's not aggressive at all. He's not making any attempt to get to me, but really wanted you to be able to see the coloration of the head, the body, and the markings of them. Now you'll see here with this snake, you'll see the specific pattern that he has. Now, a lot of people will call up and they'll report snakes such as black snakes and things like that, and they question whether or not they're copperheads. This is the only snake in the country that has these particular markings. Now, your common water snake, a lot of people confuse for copperheads, but don't be mistaken, they are not copperheads. This coloration pattern, like I said, this is the only snake that has this coloration pattern in the United States. We are getting a... Go ahead, hit the stop button. Maryland, we wanted to take and show you exactly what they look like. We get a lot of calls and a lot of reports for copperheads. Very seldom are they copperheads. In fact, they turn out predominantly to be either water snakes or black rat snakes. So we wanted to take this opportunity to show you exactly what one looks like. This here is an adult copperhead. Generally, they're going to reach between 2 to 4 feet in length. Their primary food source are going to be things such as mice, birds, frogs, toads, things of that nature. This is not an aggressive species of snake, though they are a member of the pit viper family. You'll notice there are very distinct markings on this snake. You'll notice that with this snake, it does have the You'll notice that it does have the hourglass patterns on it and a very distinct coloration of it, of the tan and brown. You will note there's no black markings on this snake at all. Your common water snake, you will see a lot of people get them confused, but they do have a black marking on them, and unless you really are familiar with what you're looking at, they're very easily confused. But as you can see, it's a very healthy young copperhead. Generally, they reach 2 to 4 feet in length. And these snakes, they're not an aggressive species of snake. But the important thing to remember with them is they really don't give a warning. When you're in their area and you come across one of these snakes, they don't give a warning. They don't make a sound like a rattlesnake, and they really don't try to get away from you. Their main thing that they do is they rely on camouflage. And these guys are ambush hunters, so they're going to primarily stay in one spot. And most people that come in contact with them and do have a bite or an interaction with them are generally people that step on them by accident. You'll note their color pattern. You can see here in the grass, they camouflage very well. If you have any questions about removal of these snakes in any way, please contact Mid-Atlantic Wildlife Control at any of our offices. If you're in Maryland, please contact 443-417-3137. In the Washington, D.C., Southern Maryland area, please contact 202-557-1443. If you have any other questions, please email us at wildlifecatcher@gmail.com, and one of our licensed and experienced technicians will be more than happy to come out and take a look at your property, inspect the area, and if you do have any of these snakes, we'll be more than happy to remove them for you. Thank you very much.